spot. That's when I saw 420.
420.
Nice. Awesome. We did.
And
it,
welcome
guys.
back to Gush number 18 or 19 or 17, depending on whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify. It doesn't matter because numbers aren't real. That's the theme of this episode, everybody. Time
the theme.
is not real. And so we're living in the Sonic universe. Or as I like to call it.
I was thinking maybe I was like, am I going to be the first returning guest? But then I'm not. Fucking Technicals beat me. I didn't realize he was in the first episode. God damn it.
We're in a different place from Technicals. We're in a different place we're in what I like to call the Sonic Zone. This is the Sonic Zone. This is the
Welcome to Sonic Zone Act 1.
Exactly. And let me just set the tone here. So you can view Cybershell as your final boss for all your Sonic needs here on the Gush podcast.
It's kind of a weird opening song, but hey, it is what it is. Also, are you like recording this playlist separately and you're going to layer that on top, or are you going to manually?
We're going to do a live recreation live in studio.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yes.
It's a little quiet, but yeah, I turned it up. I mean, I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine for you, the viewer. Okay, there we go. Now I have to turn it down.
It's interactive. Like mixing it on the fly.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I actually do like this track, The Final Zone from Sonic 1. It's a little it's very imposing.
Very epic. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's almost like too epic. That fight is kind of weird. It's just Robotnik and a bunch of tubes going up and down. It's like, I have shit talked that final boss before, but it's not that bad. It's just not that amazing. You know what I mean?
It was cool.
Again, it was the first one. It was the first final boss. No, they didn't have the cooler final bosses to compare it to at the time. I'm sure it was considered epic. And I mean, it was pretty epic.
If you think about it, it's kind of an analogy for how the internet is, right? It's just a bunch of tubes up and down.
Exactly. That's exactly what they were thinking of when they were.
And you never know which one's evil.
Right. I think it's an analogy for that. And I think right now we're kind of caught in this state where this kind of music that we're listening to, that we're enjoying together, in this case, sharing on a podcast, truly, we don't know the future of whether this will be acceptable or not, because on sites like Twitch, so much as playing a small sample of any kind of video game music like this could get you permanently banned.
I'm so upset about this. Okay, like I understand. I don't like it, but I understand that like top 40 music, you can't be fucking playing that on your goddamn Twitch. I get it. Okay, whatever. But like video game music is sacred. You're allowed to use video game music. You can't take video game music away from us. It's getting to the point where fucking Twitch streamers are like muting games just so they don't get their streams taken down, which is ridiculous. Like,
makes
what the hell?
No sense.
It's so ridiculous. It's like if you have the right to stream a game, that should include the music. And again, I understand there's a difference when you're doing licensed songs. That's one thing. Again, whatever. But I'm talking about video game music made for the video game. We were talking about Earthbound in particular has apparently had a re-release of a CD in Japan, and now like a bunch of old. I saw Chuka Conroy saying a bunch of his like Let's Play videos are getting taken down just because of the fucking music, which is like. And that's
taking the whole video down.
Yeah, the whole video, like not just like muted. It was like down, which just doesn't make any sense. Like I can't even wrap my head around that. Like that actually is another layer of not making sense. They actually would take the video down, which apparently is happening. I mean, I haven't personally had any problem with Earthbound music, so I can't fully vouch for that. But apparently this is a real thing. I wouldn't just be saying it to drum up like fear for you guys. So just be careful with your video game music. Do a little research. It's not too hard to figure out if the music you want to use will be allowed by, YouTube. Usually you can find a video using it and then look in the description to see if there's that little auto-generated box that comes up. Because if that comes up, that means they're claiming the rights for that music.
Exactly.
You won't see that on most video game music. Yeah, that's usually how I go. I can't claim that will work with 100% accuracy. And plus, that's the thing about YouTube we were also bitching about, which is that they change the rules. Like the rules will be one thing 1 year, and then like a couple years later, we're changing the rules now. Now that video you made with that music, now it's not allowed. Because I have videos from 12 years ago where I would just play music without thinking, because it's just whatever. What are they gonna do? Watch every video on YouTube to find out if they're using music? I didn't think about robots back then.
Yeah,
it's gotten bad.
It's getting bad, and I think this is one place where gamers, I know this sounds ironic, but where gamers are kind of united in this way of thinking, because if you think about it, this is exactly where gamers care about. They've always viewed the gameplay as something shared with
it's
content
so
creation.
Strange, honestly, like, because you're allowed to like make a let's play or a Twitch stream or whatever of a video, like, and that's your footage. It counts as your performance of that game. You know what I mean? Like, that's technically your, like, you. I don't know how to say, you own the rights to that performance. I guess, like, you know, when you play a video of yourself playing through a game, and then if someone else, like, you know, imagine if you made a let's play of a game, and then you found out Hollywood did a movie, and they just use your let's play as like generic game footage without giving you any credit. Wouldn't that be weird? Wouldn't that make you feel like, what the fuck? Shouldn't I get compensated or something? I mean, I don't know.
For sure.
It's strange. I mean, I don't even know how much you deserve to be compensated for that, because like obviously the people who deserve compensation who'd have to be asked are the people who own the rights to the game. Like, can the game be in the movie? But I don't know. It's just a weird, complicated fucking thing, man. Video games are strange. They're a strange medium. They're a strange kind of art.
They press the boundaries because they're a new universe. Mm-hmm. They push the boundaries of what is content and what is art and what is shared experience and all that, you know, because they're a complicated thing. They're a universe. That's when I said the Sonic universe. I wasn't being ironic. I really meant it.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It is like a video game is like a little digital puppet show, and you control the puppets, and there's all these rules, and you have to like get to the end and stuff. It's just interesting because video games are obviously they're well, not obviously longer than a movie, but they usually are typically nowadays they're longer than a movie, so you can do more different things with like. So it's just interesting to see when games, like a lot of games, try to be like movies and emulate the style and the visual language of just being a movie. So it's like, I don't know. I like to see games embrace their gaminess, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I like both.
Kind of vague, but it's sort of like what I'm trying to get.
Well, you know what you're saying is kind of, I'm about to go big picture here for a second. It's kind of relevant to 10,000 BC or whatever, however, you know, 100,000 years ago, 500,000 years ago, more accurately, millions of years ago, when humans were hunting for prey. You know, game, the word originally means for like hunting, right? It's like an object to
that is actually kind of weird. I never really thought about that, but yeah, like that is just sort of like what triggers stimulation. I mean, I wonder if that's a coincidence that a lot of modern games involve hunting and killing things, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you can see it in a cat, like their eyes will get big, like they enjoy the act of hunting and killing because it's programmed into their brain, and humans they're not cats, but they're not entirely dissimilar, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
There is something weird about that, like just the fundamental act of like what buttons in your brain is a video game pushing to like release the dopamine and make you happy? I guess kind of a weird way to look at it, but like why are video games fun? But like it's like video games are fun because you can you jump the little guy through the level, but like why is that fun? Why does that do anything?
Reward. It's all about reward.
It is. I guess that really does come down to it. Like it's a challenge. Like, you can't just bing bing wahoo your way through Mario Bros. 1 your first time. It really it's an
intellectual game, really.
Exactly. You have to have an extremely high IQ to understand Super Mario Brothers 1.
You really do.
It's so hard for me to even imagine this. Like kids today, I mean, I'm not trying to go full boomer about this shit or anything, but like kids
let's go full boomer. They
grow up with like PS4 and like these incredible 3D games. And it's just like, yeah, video games just are like a thing that just exists to them. But then you're like, I don't know, you talk to some old ass motherfucker who like they lived when video games did not exist. They lived in a world without video games, and video games are like a new thing. And that's like, it's so hard for me to imagine that. Like, obviously I still can enjoy Pac-Man and have a good time playing those old arcade games, but like that was like the first, like the idea of even controlling a thing on a screen was such a novelty to these people. Like that's why those old Atari games, like I don't like to shit games for being too old or whatever, too archaic, but like it's so hard for me to appreciate the Atari games because like they're so primitive, but at the time I understand like that was enough to be considered good and cool, you know what I mean? And it's just weird to me to think there's going to be people who like look at like like the old Sonic games and are like, nah, that's too primitive for me to get into, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a difference. Like it can't be to the same degree. It can't be to the same degree. Like obviously there's way more of a barrier of entry to those old Atari games. They're so esoteric. Like they're like all Sonic's simple enough to understand.
Yes, the esoteric Atari games.
They are. I mean, they're so weird to even understand. Like, what am I even looking at half the time? Like, you need to read the manual.
You need a high IQ. You need a high IQ to understand them.
You really did have to. Well, it's not even high IQ. You just have to have an imagination. Like games used to require you to like abstract things and use your imagination. Like Final Fantasy battles. Like you understood the characters weren't standing in a row and taking turns and like watching numbers go down. You're supposed to use your imagination.
Wait, you weren't supposed to be excited by big numbers on screen?
No, you are. But it is an abstraction for like real combat, I would imagine. I mean, in real life, people don't have hit points. At least I don't think.
Yeah, the hit points are literally just
well,
a
you'd be
measure of
surprised.
like effort and success and failure with each swing. It's kind of like farming feedback.
So here's another weird thing that just popped into my brain because of the aquatic zone, aquatic music that's going on from Sonic is like the idea of like when you die in a video game, like that's like, you know, it pisses you off, right? Like when you drown in a Sonic game, it's like terrifying because you're like so close to being able to escape, but you can't. It's just super weird how like video games can invoke all these weird emotions in you. Like you can feel anxious watching a character in a movie almost drown, but it'll never be the same because you know whether you don't have any input on it. You were going to watch it, whatever happened, whatever put on film is what's going to happen. Whereas when you're watching a video game, it's like, this is you. Like you can't help but like project your ego onto the character that you're controlling and like see that as part of you.
Can I want to make an analogy. I want to make a gaming analogy really quick before I forget it. Because this reminded me of that. In Pokemon, it's a more simple RPG. And so when you attack somebody, it doesn't actually say how many hit points you took away. There's no number indicator for how much damage
you just have to look at the life bar and sort of
It's
eyeball
just the life bar. It's the colors and eyeball it. Exactly. And you kind of know where's where. But I've always thought that was a more... for a while at least, until you outsmarted it, that it was kind of a more imaginative system of like, well, it's almost more of like a feeling in Pokemon, it felt like, when you're damaging somebody rather than just like, you know, an exchange of numbers.
Right. Pokemon did so much right in like letting you really, that's another game that you really feel like you're like the trainer or whatever, you know, because you have so much expression in like, because like everyone plays their Pokemon, but like everyone gets like little, not everyone has a different team. I shouldn't say that, but like, you know, everyone does it a little differently. You know what I mean? People are
unique experience.
The games are very much prone to allowing yourself to create a unique experience, create unique like expression through player identity. Through your team, through your moves that you choose. Like Pokemon is a very restricted game. Like you only have 4 moves at a time, blah, blah, blah. But you can have a whole team of Pokemon. I honestly like, it is just crazy how much that game in particular, like has taken off. Like, again, this is me flexing my boomer brain for all the fucking Zoomers in the audience. Like I remember Pokemon Blue and Red. Like I remember Pokemon exploding in popularity. Like it was a phenomenon. I don't think people who didn't experience the 90s can understand how big Pokemon and Sonic, but for right now, we're talking about Pokemon. Like those were just inescapably huge fucking franchises. I mean, the Pokemon's still that big, basically, especially Pokemon Go. You can't not be exposed to Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that later, but go on.
I have a theory that like I'm starting to think from this conversation that like the more control, like well done, the feeling of control happens in the game, the more like people are going to be invested in the game. And Pokemon did so well because of what you're saying here. Like they did so like because you feel like the trainer, so you feels like you're, you know what I mean? Like
right,
what you were saying before about like you don't want to die in a game. It's because like it's worse than in a movie because you're the one who dies. You're controlling it, and you are the one.
Yeah.
Your
You
actions
identify
cause
as the
die.
character.
It'll just hit you harder, not like in that like, oh, you're so emotionally upset that like a character died, because you know they'll just respawn, whatever. You just have extra life, but you still just feel like, oh, I made a mistake. I could have done better. That's one good thing. Like, it doesn't seem like Sonic would be necessarily that high of player expression as a game, right? Like when I talk about Mario, I love Mario. I'm not shitting on Mario, but just as an aside, like there's basically a correct way to play Mario. You know, you go through the level, you don't get hit, you jump on the guys, maybe you find the secrets. Whereas with Sonic, it's like there's way more like movement control and like physics based
on Mario.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mario fans. I'm
Holy
sorry.
Shit.
You know, he's
I'm
responsive
pissed. I'm
for
throwing
this.
down my Mario cap right now onto the ground and stomping it in anger.
I will never Bing Bing or Wahoo again in my life. But it's basically like, you know, I feel like Sonic, I think I've said this before, but like the game feel is kind of almost like you're in like a skate park, you know what I mean? Because like, you can play really well and do all these cool moves. And like, yeah, you can just keep running at enemies and falling on your ass and getting up. And like, you can complete the game like that, just like you can skateboard through an area and fall on your ass a million times. But that's not the fun part. The fun part is doing it well and stylish and cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Just the inherent satisfaction of playing a game well, which again, a lot of games I feel like these days don't focus so much on, you know what I mean? There's also just a
really
weird
is a
thing.
style thing. That's
It
so
really
true.
was.
Like
It's a
Mario
time
is
thing,
not
too.
stylish in any way. There's like I mean, you can be kind of cool, I guess. Like you be pulling off like really hard moves, but it's like there's a limit to it. Whereas like
Right. It's a
so
more
much
slow,
free with
deliberate
Sonic.
game. You're supposed to approach a scenario, visually survey it, and like see, I know what I'm
requires
supposed to
a
do here.
higher IQ.
I'm going to yeah, well, I guess because you're supposed to see what you're supposed to do and then do it. Whereas in Sonic,
Because
you just like
Sonic is
react.
made for
Okay.
Americans. Sonic's like fast food.
It
Sonic
was.
is Mario fast food.
Sonic was meant to be more
So
like
check this out.
reactionary. And
Check
you just
this out.
go,
I have a theory of Sonic. Am I screaming into the mic?
yes.
Fuck.
It's okay. You're just
I'm
excited.
saying you-
I'm very
I'm just letting
excited.
you know.
I'm having Sonic autism right now. Hold on.
I know it feels good.
Maybe
It's also a lot of caffeine in my system, to be fair, but
Hell yeah.
they're kind of the same thing, aren't they? Speed, gotta go fast.
Exactly.
Anyways, ruined an entire generation, but that's a different video essay for a different day. No, but the real point that I'm trying to make though is Sonic himself is just such a cultural symbol of America in the 90s. In a
It
cool
really
way.
is. Sonic really is such a symbol in the 90s. I don't hate Zoomers. I don't want to keep saying this in a weird way, but like Zoomers don't understand. You do not understand just how much of a cultural force in the 90s Sonic was. He still exists. He's still relevant. Sonic will never go away. I feel like part of that just comes down to he's such a good character design. Say anything you want about his games, about his character, about his fans, but like he's got a good, solid, fundamental character design. He's blue.
Well, you know-
he looks cool. The speed is conveyed perfectly through his little spikes. He can go in a little ball. It's just good, solid character design. It's something
Yes,
I
yes.
can see why autist people like myself are like so attached to it. You know what I mean? Just like, ooh, I like that. I like that kind of character.
Sure.
yeah.
Disclaimer: I don't actually have autism. I just felt like Sonic autism. So I'm
dare
not
you.
trying to culturally appropriate you. I'm just trying to say that.
Excuse me,
It's-
911. Can you give me the phone number for Bo Blacks, please? I need to report you to the autism police.
So you guys are forming a community now, huh?
Yes.
You're forming an army.
It's called Sonic fandom.
I'm afraid. I'm actually afraid now.
People should be afraid of the Sonic fans. We're too
Contagious.
powerful. We're so powerful.
We need to be on
no
your
one can
good
stop
side.
us.
I think we need to be on your good side.
Yes, exactly.
I'll
Sonic
be- can
fans
I-
will only get more powerful as time goes
Okay,
on. That's the
me and
weirdest thing.
me and Sam are going to be the silver and the I don't know. Assign me a. I'll be.
God.
Who should I be?
You
give
can be
me a-
Charmy. You're going to be Charmy
No,
the Bee.
please.
Yeah.
No,
You can just say
the ninja.
Silver and Shadow.
No,
Better
the-
than silver.
No, what's the ninja's name?
Oh,
Pink
SBO? Yeah,
Ninja.
he's pretty dope.
Okay, SBO and Silver are me and Sam.
No,
For
I'm
sure.
not silver. Fuck that. I'm mighty. I'm mighty the fucking armadillo, bro.
Hell yeah.
Wait,
That's
who the
just
fuck is Mighty?
one of the Chaotix. Well, Mighty's sort of not really a member of the Chaotix, but whatever. It's like a
Sam's
side
the
thing.
crocodile.
He's the original Sonic.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna find the computer.
Hey, I love Vector. He's a good boy.
Hey, it's me, Vector.
I don't know why he had to have that kind of voice. He could have
That's
done
how
like
he
a regular
talks.
voice.
That's how we gotta find the computer room. Jeremy.
Yeah,
Find the computer room! Find the computer room! Find the computer room! Find the computer.
yeah. You know, the voice acting in Sonic Heroes is kind of strange. I mean, I guess
Tails is awful.
I hesitate to go back to it because of that.
Hell yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a whole video of me yelling at LS Mark about my thoughts on Heroes. It's a weird thing is I actually kind of like the game more now that I had to like get good at it so I could properly critique it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the act of getting good at a game sort of makes you realize, oh, a lot of these problems I had really were my fault. But
I
there are
really
still
like
plenty.
the second
There are
half
still
of the
plenty of problems in that game. There's plenty of great shit in that game. There really is plenty of really cool moments, really cool set pieces, really cool. Just the level
That one
design.
level that's
is
so
cool.
long. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one level is
I
ridiculous.
hate how long the levels are in that game. I don't understand why they're so fucking ridiculously tediously long. And then you play as Team Dark and they're even longer. Like, I don't know. I guess in theory, there's really nothing wrong with long levels, but they just felt they would reuse the same like set pieces over and over again. It felt like you weren't even making progress. It felt like you're just going through the exact same like copy pasted area over and over again. But whatever, it is what it is. Getting on a whole fucking Heroes rant.
No, I feel you on that. Though.
I have
But
a future
it's when the
podcast
level's
idea.
good, it's nice though.
I have a future podcast idea, or just like a
Hell yeah.
social experiment or something.
Oh yeah, social experiment.
We're gonna cut this from the episode, but it's called Playing Sonic Heroes on LSD.
God, of all the Sonic games, that one might be a bit too much of a sensory overload.
It would
Yeah.
be. I think it would be a religious experience.
It would be intense. It would be very intense
Just
for sure.
the saturated colors and like
Right,
the
it's so
fucking-
colorful and bright, and like all the shit's coming. And like, there's some stages in that, like
It's like you're getting a sunburn.
If you know what I'm talking about, the end of like the haunted manor level, like there's just one room with all these trippy textures.
Oh
it just looks
God.
insane.
Yeah.
They were tripping on something when they made that.
Yeah, it's
And also you could
being
it's
Takashi
so
Iizuka.
stressful to be in that area because you could just like end up going so far back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a stressful area because you could just easily fall into a pit there, and then it would just put you back quite a while.
It invokes feelings
know exactly
of
what I'm talking
paranoia and anxiety.
I guess that was accurate for the level. It was like a haunted castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Good
It
music,
was
though.
you
Sick
know.
music.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, that might age well though.
Oh my
with the
god,
current-
Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Spinball is a game that it doesn't have the same pedigree of like great Sonic soundtrack as the other Sonic games do.
No.
It has a much more Genesis crunchy soundtrack, but at the same time, I liked it because of that. I understand
too.
absolutely
Me
what people
too.
wouldn't. The options, Sonic Spinball options sound like, I don't know why. That song is like objectively bad, but I fucking love it. I don't know why. It's so weird.
That game, I remember like renting it a lot as a kid, and it was like there was something so mysterious about it for some reason.
Right. I do genuinely like the Toxic Cave song. That's actually a pretty decent
Yeah.
song. It's not all bad. I don't know why I shit on it so hard.
this
It's
is
just not
that
what I
song,
think of.
yeah.
The options music in particular. That one actually, one of the instruments is like balanced wrong. Like you can look up YouTube Sonic Spinball options like fixed, and it actually sounds better. Yeah, you can. It's a very strange song.
I gotta turn the volume.
This is like new metal.
I know, but it's like it's again.
This is
It
sick
has
now.
it has that Genesis crunch to it, which is I understand why a lot of people genuinely do not care for the Genesis sound font or whatever. I mean, I don't know how the
do
proper
like
way to
it.
describe it.
But to add on to Sonic's mythology, I have another cultural analysis to add.
Go for it.
So this is free video essay content
sick.
for anyone interested. But Sonic, in representing like the quintessential 90s cool kid in America, he also represented a cultural peak, much like the Beatles did for the 60s, or a number of other bands, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, you had Andy Warhol, the Velvet Underground, many other acts that aren't even coming to mind right now.
Weird Al.
Yeah, Weird Al, who was born in the 60s.
Weird Al is a fucking just force of nature. He's still around. He still doesn't even look that old. He's still just making songs. He's awesome.
I think he's has a fountain of youth.
He really does. I don't even know what he's doing, but he's just
You don't want to.
he's just
know.
one of those
Actually, like,
genuinely
alien.
funny ass guys. I always have like a huge amount of respect for people who can be incredibly like funny without resulting to like vulgarity and saying the fuck
Yeah.
word and the cunt word like I do a million times. I don't know why. It's not like I try to be a vulgar guy. I just swear a lot. I don't know why. It's just something like I just did it without thinking. Like I have
It's
I have
part
this
of internet
reputation for
culture.
swearing a lot in my videos, and I swear to God, it sounds like I'm lying, but I swear I never was like I'm gonna swear a lot and be the swearing guy. I just talked, and that's sort of just it's like a filler word, you know what I mean? Or it's like fucking this, fucking that, fucking
It's just
fucking
how
whatever.
we grew up. It was
Right.
like, this South Park and
Exactly. Oh, I swear saying fuck was such a big deal when I was a kid, and now it's like
Yeah.
nobody cares. Literally nobody
when I was
cares
a
about
kid-
vulgarity like that. Nobody. Like people care about slurs and like offensive words in that regard, but nobody cares about shit and fuck. You know what I mean? Like who cares? Who cares? Kids use those words nowadays, and nobody cares. I don't care.
I remember when I was a kid and like after I got into South Park at around like the 4th grade or so, I started swearing. And
I thought it was
kids
the
would come to
funniest
my-
shit ever, dude. I thought South Park was the
Yeah,
greatest
it
show
was
because
so
it was
good.
an animated show with kids, and they were saying the fuck word. It was just that alone. Again,
And it
nowadays
was good.
there's so many animated adult shows. Like that's not even like
Yeah.
that's not even a thing
edgy,
anymore.
it's like
It's not even
whatever.
edgy. It's not even anything. Like you wouldn't even
It's
get
normal.
attention. It's literally normal. It is normal to have an adult
kids,
image.
so I'd have kids come to my house when I was a kid, and I would swear, and they'd be like, "You can swear?" You know what I mean? They'd be like,
Yeah,
"Well,
there were
your
always
mom
those.
hears."
There were always those sheltered kids who were like, "Dude,
It was
you,
like
you can't
everyone,
swear."
dude. It was
Yeah,
like
I know. That's what I
everyone.
mean. It used to be normal to not like. It was like you don't just say fuck. Like that's a big deal. Like I mean, when you're alone with your friends, it's like whatever.
You guys
but,
want to know something funny about that? One thing I distinctly remember from the early YouTube days. There were some channels I used to follow. Some of them were even Sonic channels, actually. One of them was like this kind of game ranter, I think they were called at the time. He would basically he was like played games and would give his thoughts on games and other things, you know, so that kind of shit.
Right.
Anyways, so this guy made and he had like his own cartoon profile picture, like early days of that.
Of course.
And the funny thing though was that he created this like montage of his own videos called the fuck reel. And it was like every time that he said fuck in his videos,
right.
cut together. As if like that was like a funny thing at the time. Like, oh, look how many times I cursed. Like,
it is funny how like just the cursing culture on YouTube has changed. Because I mean, obviously back in the day,
this was like this was many years ago. This was like
right. I mean, back in the day,
13.
Angry Video Game Nerd was like breaking the doors off the shit. Like he was like, this fucking diarrhea, dog shit, fucking take a W.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, you can't say that while talking about video games because like people compare YouTube to like broadcast television. Like I mean, it wasn't like seen in the same light, but like you wouldn't get that kind of content on broadcast television. And now I'm not shitting on the guy directly, but it's a little sad where you see like modern Angry Video Game Nerd and he's like doesn't want to swear because he wants the more ad revenue and stuff. You know what I mean? Like people are afraid to swear. I really don't hold it against people who don't swear. I can't emphasize that enough. If you don't want to swear in your content, that is a-okay. But like, I don't know, man. I just have constantly sworn, and I don't know why. I guess I don't really have any footing to say this because I've just been blessed. I swear all the time in my videos. I never have gotten in any real trouble. As long as nowadays the new rule basically is just don't say the fuck word in the thumbnail, title, or in the first 30 seconds, and you'll be mostly okay. I know some people they like swear a little bit, and the whole video gets demonetized. I swear up a storm as long as you don't do it immediately.
Well, that's fucking retarded.
It's so stupid, dude. That's
fair. For that one we're demonetized, Sam. For that one we're demonetized. Thank you.
It is like
now that we're demonetized.
It's not. I just wish they would handle it evenly and treat everyone on the same level playing field, but they don't. It's like some people, certain rules get enforced sometimes, and sometimes they don't get enforced. It's like completely arbitrary. It's so frustrating.
Which brings us back
among the employees or some shit. I don't even know.
I genuinely, I have no idea how or why it's like this.
Which brings us back to Sonic.
Hell yeah.
I have no idea how or why Sega hasn't released what Pokemon Go did for Pokemon. Chao, Sega.
It's insane, right?
Come on.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So many people are like begging Sega to bring back the Chao, and like they could just make I don't know necessarily just Chao Go. I mean, I don't know about that, but like just something.
Any
just make
app.
Exactly, any kind of app, something. I am a little skeptical. Like when I think of a standalone Chao game, you'd have to give it like mini games or something to balance out the resource management, because normally the resources come from playing the main game. But the point is you can figure it out. There's absolutely a way to figure it out, and it's so strange to me that they haven't capitalized on this, because adventure nostalgia is like peaking right now. Like people love the Chao. They love the Chao. They're constantly bringing the Chao like back for like little cameos and things. It makes no sense, dude. They're leaving money on the table, and I don't know why they're doing it like this. Maybe I'll let them like make the new game, and if there's no Chao in that, then it's time to start being like, come on, Sega, get it together, because maybe they'll bring it back. You never know. It is strange though. It's such a strange subsystem of a game. Like it was so in depth, like no reason to be that in depth, but it totally was, and a lot of people loved it. A lot of people formed really strong memories with their Chao. That's why I had a video about Chao, and it did pretty well. People are just interested, like, wow, look at all this completely optional, 100% optional side content in a game. It's so strange. Like, why did they even add Chao? It makes no sense. What the fuck? That was just the weirdest thing about like Sonic Adventure 1.
Fandom.
I know why.
Go on, Sam.
Because Sonic is not like a game that's about longevity on its own, but having the Chao Garden makes it last longer.
Yes, I agree with you. I think Chao within the context of like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure Battle is genius, because it gives you an extra incentive to like replay the stage. There's already an incentive because you want to like get a better rank, do the extra missions, but like now you have like extra things to do during that, and it's like it is like a nice downtime between constantly grinding out the same missions over and over, as you can just hang out with your Chao. It's just they did a really good job giving the whole Chao area like a nice relaxing atmosphere. I think that's why so many people like, you'll see like these old videos like an hour long Chao, like, you know, just like relaxing stream or whatever, you know what I mean? Because people just like to, I don't know, the music triggers something in people's memories, like, yes, this is what it was like to be a youth and be, you know, taking care of my little blue baby, and it brings all these parental instincts up in me and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the podcast, and how we think that Chao Garden in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was actually a program to trigger people's parental response in the brain, because it basically was like having a child. You cheered them on at karate class.
They literally make like little baby sounds. Like they're literally blue babies.
They're children.
They're designed to be cute as hell.
I think it was a studied program.
My baby isn't blue.
We were part of a psychological experiment.
Hey, just like Pokemon, the Chao themselves are very customizable. Like there's so many different ways you can customize customize their appearance and stuff. So like I feel like that's another way, like when you give yourself that much customizability, that's why people got so attached to their Chao. You give them a name and everything, you watch them go on all these races. Exactly.
You want to 3D print them out and raise them as real children?
Hell yeah. I would love a little Chao robot.
Just like we were talking about earlier, you can't fully control the Chao. It really is like being a parent. You just have to let your kid do what they do. And that's what really makes having that degree of control good, because it's like you have the control, but then it's up against what you can't control. So
but you could also pick them up and kick them.
Tug and pull kind of thing.
Yeah, just like your real life kids.
Just like your parents. Just like your parents.
If they're bad, if they're being bad.
Skip them across the water.
Sometimes
those are bad parents, though. Those are bad parents. And then those Chao turn out to be devil Chao. For real. That's how it turns out. If you want to raise devil fucking Chao in the game, it's really an analogy for life, 1-to-1. It's honestly like the new religion. Chao's going to be a new religion in about 20 years. Watch. Because when you mistreat the Chao, they turn into the devil Chao, and they're kind of like living in hell. There
is a lot of weirdly symbolism, like the angel Chao have the little halo and everything. It is kind of funny, honestly. Yeah. But it is like I don't know what it is, but something about the Chao just tickled people's brains in the right way. And Sega hasn't like forgotten that. They keep teasing people like, we're gonna bring back the Chao. We're gonna bring back the Chao. We'll make a little Chao animated video for YouTube. We're just not gonna put the Chao in the main fucking series of games anytime soon. Who knows?
But Chao fandoms are rising, is what I was going to say. I've noticed more and more people.
I mean, it's always sort of been there to a degree, but like I feel
Connor eats pants. And everyone else who has the Chao avatar.
Yeah, he's got that sick Chao avatar. I love that. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Of Chao games. Give me like a Captain Toad equivalent.
Yeah, there really is room for a Chao spinoff or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to play a whole game as Omo Chao, but like there's something there. You could make a Chao
Cybershell.
game. Like, it's on the table.
Cybershell.
Yes.
You and Connor Eats Pants should collaborate.
Dude, we should. I mean,
I feel like you guys would.
Before. Yeah, he's a great guy, honestly. He's really cool. He's a really funny dude. Yeah, he's just a great. I watched him do the Minecraft Sonic stream. I didn't actually play the Minecraft Sonic DLC myself. I will do it eventually, but I don't know. I couldn't get it in. I couldn't the energy in myself up to play the Minecraft Sonic DLC the day it came out. So I just watched someone else play it.
Right.
It is crazy.
That's another thing I wanted to touch on real quick.
And everything. Yep.
That's a whole nother subject, which is something that I've talked with Sam about.
Pauses the music.
Serious business, guys.
This is serious, guys. This is serious. Okay. No, but okay, I'll continue. But the thing I talked with Sam about was how it's sometimes more enjoyable, or like it's more preferred to watch someone play through like fan games of Sonic and just like newer games in general, perhaps, or at least like.
Dude, that's a whole weird thing to think about. Like, why do people like watching games in the first place? And I feel like I should have a better understanding of this, because I was sort of like there. I was there when Let's Plays were like booming back in 2007 on Something Awful, and it's such a weird thing to think about. Like that is quote unquote the birthplace of Let's Plays, and it is like the idea of a quote unquote Let's Play didn't really exist before that, but like the idea of gameplay,
it implies a parasocial relationship. It implies a parasocial relationship.
Also, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about like, well, with the copyright stuff, like is someone's gameplay like unique to them?
It's a very, very strange situation. Like how much do you own your Let's Play footage? Because you don't own the game or the assets or the music, but like you own your performance of it. That's like a real thing. Like I looked that up, but I don't really fully understand what rights that exactly will confer to you.
And that's why like we like watching other people play, because we like watching their performance.
Right? Yeah, it is like especially if they're streaming their microphone. That's an extra level. I mean, obviously that counts as their own performance. But yeah,
okay, exactly. Can I borrow this for a video idea?
Oh yeah. It's a very strange, interesting, like just idea, because there are some people out there who are just inherently just funny, interesting people that I would like to watch a Germa play like any game. I don't know, he's just an entertaining guy. Like the game is almost secondary at that point. Whereas there's back in Let's Play on Something Awful, like back in those days, the idea of the performer being like front and center wasn't really a thing. It was about the game. It was like, hey, everyone, check out this Let's Play of this game. And the whole Let's Play was about showing off the game. And it was like, back then, people took it really seriously. Like, you had to do a good job showing off the game. Like, you didn't want to play like shit and have people watch you die and respawn over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, it was treated like your job was to show off the game, whereas now it's almost like the game exists just to show off the personality, you know what I mean, just as an excuse for the person to make jokes. And the weirdest part for me to think about is like now developers are making games for streamers, you know what I mean, like they're making their game in mind, if not for streamers. Like those games exist like made for streamers, but even the ones that aren't made for streamers, like when you're making your game, people will think about that. You know, they'll think about how will a streamer do this or that, and like, because that's not something you can or should ignore. Like, streamers will help your game's popularity so fucking much if you're like an indie game. You know what I mean?
But is that a good thing?
I don't know. I know. I agree. It's weird because you're not experiencing the game if you're watching someone else play it, and that will always be different. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
Yeah.
If you watch someone let's play a game, you can like know everything that's in that game, but if you've never picked up the controller and like played it, like it's still a different level of understanding.
It's knowledge versus wisdom.
Right. It's very strange. And again, I'm not saying this in like a judgy way, like, oh, if you haven't played the game, you only watch the let's play, you piece of shit. Like, that's fine. You don't have to want to play every game ever that existed. You know, there's plenty of games I've like just watched a playthrough of, and I'm like, oh, interesting. I wouldn't want to play that, but I'm glad I like have seen it and stuff. But I don't know. It's such a strange thing. And like I was trying to say like earlier with let's plays, like the concept of a gameplay like that you would record, I mean, that's existed forever. So what makes a let's play? Is it the commentary? Because there have been commentary on gameplay for reviews and for like, you know, just like, videos.
I guess like, it's just a playthrough, no commentary, right?
Yeah, so there's playthroughs, no commentary. Those obviously have existed. But then like there's like a thing with like Chris Chan, CWC infamously made this tape where she recording Animal Crossing. It was Animal Crossing. Like this was back in like 2004. So you know, it was just like Animal Crossing with narration. Does that count as a let's play? Because like, you know, that game doesn't have a beginning or it doesn't really have like an end stage. So it's like, can you really let's play Animal Crossing? I mean, I guess you can, but is one video of you just like walking around your town talking about it, does that count as a let's play?
No,
and like,
it's a parasocial relationship with a few extra steps.
It really is. That is such a weird fucking thing, dude. Like it's unavoidable to a certain degree. Like that, some people will form I mean, just watching someone's videos, you form a degree of parasocial.
Well, that's
even
what
if
Twitch streaming is built on. Yeah,
that's the weird part. Is now it's not like an incidental feature of making videos like this. Now it's like the point. The point is to generate these parasocial relationships. Because they generate revenue, which is fucked up. Like, think about how much money Dream makes. Like, I don't even want to like say he's
it's
evil
a fucking
or anything.
Cult.
He's just a guy. He's just a dude.
Cult.
He's the kid. I don't think he's evil.
He's just doing what like works for him. You know what I mean? Like that's why. Well, it's like,
I mean, I don't approve of what he's doing. I think that like
I have never really. Okay, there's always just been a weird thing that certain creators do where they're like
just
intentionally fostering parasocial relationships, and they'll do things like, hey, if you're like a fan of me, put a little B in your Twitter username, so like the B Army or something. There's like any emoji, like it doesn't matter. Just something goes like everyone. There's like an in group, and like I don't know. There's like a whole book on like how to like maximize people's like emotional connection to you, which is so weird. I always sort of try to keep my audience at like arm's length,
it's manipulating
and, like,
people.
my audience. I've always had like a weird relationship with the audience, where I appreciate and respect and I like the people who watch my videos, but like I don't know, I'm not your fucking friend. I'm not gonna, I mean, if you want to give me money, I appreciate that a lot, but that doesn't give you the right to, say anything you want to me and like tell me what to do and stuff. I don't know. It's so weird. I still feel weird about it. I've been making videos on the internet for so long, and I still feel fucking weird about the whole idea of having like fans.
Good.
It's so weird.
Good. That's how PewDiePie stayed humble when he got big.
Right.
It's probably the same thing. It's like it still feels weird. It's like not embracing that shit.
Some people love that. Some people are the opposite, and they just love the adoration and all the attention and the fandom, and like they love that shit.
It's so empty. I think it's like, yeah, they like it. It's nice, but it's very fleeting and like.
A million fans ain't worth a damn. Ain't worth one friend I can call my man. It's like, come on, you gotta prioritize real relationships. Because I see a lot of these big Minecraft people, like it almost feels like they aren't even friends. They're just like a transactional, like, you have a lot of viewers, I have a lot of viewers. I'm sure there are friends. I'm not fucking saying Dream doesn't have any friends or whatever. Like, I'm not saying I know any of that shit. I'm sure he does. But it's just you see a lot of this stuff. I don't know. There's just this weird air of fakeness to it. I don't even know why it's so. I don't know, man. I don't even have a first-hand degree in this
like
shit.
Dream, for example, I don't really follow him that much. So
right, that's the thing. I don't follow anything Dream does. I only am exposed to it through like Twitter trending. So I don't want to pretend like I'm a fucking Dream expert over here.
Well, like what I noticed that makes me think that like what he's doing isn't the best is like. I feel like his fans have like it's established that he has like a toxic fan base at this point, and because they like dox people and stuff.
Fandom in general is becoming toxic. Like the idea of fandom, like you would see that with like K-pop stuff. Yeah, I guess it has always been like that. That's a good point.
I feel like there's no I'm not seeing a whole lot of like disavowing or recognition that that's bad from Dream. You know what
It's
I
just
mean?
okay. So yeah, if you
that's
could
a
just
problem.
accept that it was real, and like you can't just say like, by the way, if you're my fan, don't be bad, don't harass anyone. Okay, bye. Like you have to do more than that. You can't just say one thing like, don't be a bad fan.
Well,
like,
I'll tell you guys what it is if you want my opinion. I think it's these. Okay, so to put it in somewhat negative terms, it's these influencers realizing they can weaponize their audience to their advantage.
oh yeah. If you want to, that's what I was sort of saying with like the whole B army bullshit or whatever. It's like if you want to mobilize and weaponize your fans, like you really can. These people, some of them have like these little discords and like subgroups and sub discords of like, you know, they have a little strike force of fans who will go do anything they want.
It runs deep.
There are so many dumb kids out there. If you're a creator with like a minuscule, like a crumb of clout, you can get like a bunch of dumb kids to do anything you want, which is like weird. And I don't like that at all. That's why I don't even have a Discord anymore. I don't like that whole
messed
thing.
up. Yeah.
But you know, that's the thing. Not every creator out there is doing shit like that. So I don't want to be like, oh, if you have a big fandom, you're bad. You know what I mean? It's just you have to look at the individual person, that's a lot of work. You know, you have to actually like decide things based on a person by person basis. You just want to,
Especially when you just want to watch videos. You know, you're like you're just watching these people.
There's so much fucking drama over like Minecraft videos. Like people, you'd think this was like the most important thing that ever fucking happened. The way some of these people talk about this shit, but it's like, it's crazy, man. But that's the weirdest thing.
Kids, right?
Yeah, but that's like the weirdest thing. Like I want to just say, oh, it's just a bunch of dumb kids. But like when you have Dream has like 23 million subs, like that's more than most shows and TV on cable like get right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like just an insane viewership. It's just crazy. So like I understand why you have that many fans. It's just you're gonna have a few crazy people. Like when you have a fandom that big, it's unavoidable.
I don't fault him for having crazy people. I just want him to be like,
oh, he could be doing way better than
like
for sure. And I'm not.
I want him. I feel like there's this element of like I don't want to like condemn too hard because it's gonna. Like,
that's the thing. When you're a nice soft boy, you want to have. You don't. He's like nice to his fans. Like, oh, I love all my fans. Like you can't. Don't love all your fans. It's stupid. You should hate all your fans. It's not true. That's the fucked up. It's like it's so obviously not true. It almost feels pointless. Like, you know, he doesn't actually love all. It's like, of course he doesn't. But like, I don't know. It like really affects those kids' head when they see that tweet. And he's like, oh, I love all my fans. He's like, wow, Dream really loves me. I love. Yeah, he's in such a weird way. He said it in such a weird way. It's a strange thing. I mean, that's just like what the future of YouTube is going to be like, right? It's these huge fucking creators. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, man.
Well, I was talking with Sam about this before, but one thing, this is kind of, I hope this doesn't sound like too self-righteous or whatever, but one thing is if you are the type of person who puts out content that encourages individualism in your audience, as in you're not trying to necessarily tell them how to think or like you're not getting super community oriented and like self-referential.
Well, I think it's you are yourself being very individualistic.
Yes, if you're representing that in any kind of, whether it's how you present things or go about things or the things you talk about, whatever it is, I think that reflects into your it reflects in your audience. And the thing is, while I think that could bring you what you were saying earlier, Cybershell, like a better, I think, quality over quantity. I think I've met a lot of really cool people that have watched my videos actually. But
you're absolutely right. You do cultivate your fan base. You know what I mean? Like it's like a real thing. Like it gets what you put into it, people will get out of it. You know what I mean? So like if you go out of your way to like do stuff like that, it will pay off in the end. So it is worth doing if you're like a creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess the question remains, how financially viable is it for the future? I do think that people like us probably are going to rely more on things like Patreon and
it's been interesting seeing the landscape change because I remember Patreon in 2017, that was like the game changer because you could never trust YouTube to like be reliable. You know what I mean? You can't just trust YouTube AdSense. You just can't trust that they'll demonetize. You know, everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't even need to elaborate. But then the meta sort of became like taking sponsorships and ads and stuff, which is like, that's fine too. Because I never fault anyone for like, you know, taking an ad sponsorship type deal because like it's so hard to just go off of YouTube's ad revenue. And a lot of people, it's really hard to get into the whole Patreon game now. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that, but like I feel I was lucky enough to have started one way back in the day. And obviously, you know, it hasn't always been steady considering I haven't always been making content, but you know, just the fact that it existed from back in the day, I don't know. It's just like there's so many creators now. It's almost just like there's so many different people you can give your money to. It's like just an infinite fractal of different possible.
It's very disjointed, unfortunately.
It's so hard to. I feel like every year. I don't want to like discourage anyone from anything, but like it's so hard to start a YouTube channel. Can you imagine trying to start a YouTube channel now? It's like, how do you get noticed? I don't know. People ask like, what's your advice to a young up and coming YouTuber how to get noticed? Like, I don't know. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? I haven't been making. I didn't start YouTube this year.
Like you're not even like your path to getting noticed was so different.
It's
from
so
what it is
different.
now.
Yeah, your path is completely different from
I just
everyone.
don't have any advice that I can give you if you're an up and coming YouTuber. I'm sorry. My advice is make a good videos. Actually, I mean, that's not true. Like we were saying earlier, so much of this shit comes down to having a good like thumbnail and title. I don't want to be like doomer about it, but like 99% of your videos success. Yes, intriguing, not necessarily fully exactly asking a question with your thumbnail, but like get them thinking. Make it like a question without asking.
I mean, the
Make them
content.
ask a
Okay,
question.
but that gets people to click. But the content has to deliver to accumulate an audience. You know,
You are correct. It's more than just you can't survive
Make
off
intriguing video ideas that keep people watching.
Right.
There you go.
Like we were saying earlier with my stupid Baja Blast video, I think the reason it got so popular is because that thumbnail perfectly captures your attention. It makes you a little intrigued, like, oh, stealing a soda like that. I thought about that before, but I never did it. It just sort of accurately conveys everything the whole video is going to be.
I clicked
it was
on
just
it.
very fortuitous.
I clicked on it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say actually, but like right before we started, I was about to say something, and then I think we like started recording. That when I watched your video, I literally thought to myself like, this entire thread like took off because of this picture.
Yeah, I definitely did, for sure. Like that was like, if it was the exact same thread, everything was the same, but he didn't have that MS Paint picture and it was just like verbal or like text in the OP, it would not have gotten nearly as popular because it is such a funny, like visual. I feel like that picture on its own, you could just post that picture and people would be like, "How that's a funny picture," you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, exactly. That was like, I was lucky to have something like that as the thing that got people to click on the video. And then I was also lucky enough that in my personal opinion, it was an interesting series of events that people are interested in hearing about. So
They say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
it really is.
Wait, did you guys even notice I was gone? My Discord disconnected for some reason.
I just noticed that the stream ended.
Yeah, the
and
stream
disconnected.
ended now.
What's
I thought you were just patiently listening to us.
Yeah.
no, but I was doing that before, but I also disconnected this time. But
Well, we weren't saying
sorry,
anything important. We were still just rambling on about fucking thumbnails.
You were with us in spirits in our minds.
Yes.
We
Okay.
believed you to
Wow.
be there, so you may as well.
Holy, you just that.
All right, well,
I'm not
what were
going
we
to get
talking
into
about?
it. I'm not going to get into that. Just sounded biblical. But we're
People
not
tell
gonna
me
get
I should be a pastor. You wouldn't be the
You
first.
could be.
Of
You
course.
could be a pastor.
Hell yeah. It'd be a great side gig.
Slush is the pastor at Gush Cult.
Hell yeah.
Merch
You
coming
gotta have
out
a
soon.
designated pastor.
Listen, I have a vision for Gush merch, which is just our green. This is a plug for something that doesn't exist yet, basically. So just give me like
If you're
2
watching
seconds.
this in the future, it'll exist.
This is for the future listeners of Gush. This is what the design is. It's
This
going to
might be you, listener. This might be you listening to this
You
right
might be
now.
wearing it right now.
Several months in the future. Oh my god! If you're listening to this wearing the Gush merch, that would be like.
Then
the
tweet
next
at us.
level.
Tweet at us.
Oh man,
That would be the
you're
next
part of
level.
the cult at that point.
Tweet at Gush Podcast. And you can also email us gushpodcast@hotmail.com.
Love that Hotmail. God, my
Yeah.
first email account was Hotmail.
Same.
Again, back to the 90s era.
Good Charlotte rocks.
Hell yeah. That's the most 90s email there ever was at Hotmail.
Wait, I have a question. Do I count as a I think the fundamental question of who's a Zoomer and who's a millennial falls upon this, which is, did you grow up more as a early 2000s kid or as a 90s kid?
It is interesting because like people will be like, if you were a Zoomer, this was your childhood. If you were an e-boomer, this was your childhood. But like, I have a lot of fond memories of like Zoomer childhood type things. You know,
Yeah,
I still experienced a lot of that.
We're a bit of both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
how I feel.
But
it's only like when you start pushing further back into like the 80s and you get into those like 80s cartoons, like He-Man stuff, like that's a little before my time.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Like what?
I appreciate the 80s, but obviously I didn't live through that.
I don't
so
appreciate
I have
the
a
80s.
special- I
Fuck
have a
the
special
80s.
fondness for the 90s. Yeah, 80s shit
Fuck
is a little
the
played
80s.
out. It's very
The
oversaturated.
90s, I all that
90s
like
nostalgia is the new thing.
slime explosion shit was constantly everywhere.
That's so
Action
weird.
Dude, we are the
cool,
90s.
edgy, Backwards cap.
Slime. People love slime in the 90s. You guys don't understand. There's a whole Nickelodeon.
Oh, we understand, dude. Look at Gush.
It was a good aesthetic. I love the slime aesthetic. I unironically love the slime aesthetic. I'm not kidding.
Same.
Well, you're in it
all
right
the 90s
now.
shit. I love that shit.
You're in it right now, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're covered in it.
Good.
Uh-oh.
So anyways, the
Canadian
shirt of the future is just going to be like slime that doesn't like actually drip off, but it is slime. But we find a way to make the technology work to where it feels like slime is constantly on your body, but it's
Actual
not.
slime shirt made out of slime
yeah.
that doesn't just like.
It's just a
strip
slime
apart.
cocoon
Now this is
that you wear.
kind of
No.
Gush merchandise people are really gonna get into. The first slime shirt. Hell yeah, dude! I'm into it. I like it.
All right. Sweet.
It's got a very loose fit.
Well, I was kind of inspired by the power-ups from the early Sonic games where
Hell yeah.
you'd get the fire force field, you'd get the lightning force field. I
Yeah,
think
the
this
elemental
was
shields were
Sonic
such
3.
a good fucking twist on like a regular shield because they were like, how do you give Sonic new moves, but without like, you don't want to just give him a dash, an air dash, and a bounce and a double jump. That would fuck up the whole game because you would have too many movement options. But they tie them to these little shields, so you like when you have one, you really cherish it. Like, yes, I have an extra movement ability right now, or I can breathe underwater. You know what I mean? And then you lose it. That's in sort of a Mario-ish element because that game also, or Mario 3, you get the power-ups like the rare ones, like the Tanuki suit stuff, and then you lose it and you're like, fuck. I like Mario 3, but like I don't even like using the special suits because I just get too nervous I'm gonna lose it and be like, fuck, I lost my Hammer Bros suit.
It's like I always say, the Tanuki suit was the first kind of furry icon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. People give Sonic so much shit for turning into a werewolf, but then Mario puts on a cat suit and nobody bats an eye. It's not fair. He
was a cat boy, literally a cat
speaking
boy.
of batting an eye, I think that we all know what people are really giving Sonic shit for.
It's not fair.
Rouge the Bat? Who
Yeah.
caused the coronavirus bat?
It is hilarious how like ridiculously like unambiguously like sexualized her design is. It wasn't even like it's not even like Sally
Hey, that's the
Acorn.
90s,
It's
dude.
She's not really that sexualized, honestly. Sally Acorn is wearing a
She's a
vest.
filthy whore.
You know what? That's not the 90s. She was more of a product of like the Matrix era, like late 90s, like early 2000s, like
So that's the weirdest thing about Sonic is
sexualized
that
kind of.
Sonic really does. I will always see him as a 90s icon. He's pure 90s to me, but he also perfectly captures that early 2000s energy with
Yes,
adventure games.
that's when
That's what all the
Sonic
Zoomers-
peaked.
That's why Zoomers love him so much because he is early. He's an early 2000s
He's the
icon.
crossover. Sonic crossed
is.
over successfully.
He really did. I honestly like, even if you don't like the games, I feel like just translating into 3D in terms of like style, I feel like,
I think
updated character design.
I think that era of gaming is defined by a generational crossover. Smash makes that crossover. Sonic makes that crossover. Mario, Nintendo, most of the Nintendo properties.
It is wild that like some big-ish names. I mean, I don't really know how big some of these are, but like names I thought were pretty big, like Earthworm Jim, just completely fell flat on their face and died in that 3D transition. And
There was no crossover.
Wasn't Earthworm Jim 3D a good game?
No, I don't think it was a good game. It was also like rushed and like it had a lot of reasons for being bad. It wasn't like they tried their best and it was like it was like a weird licensed thing. I don't think the creator had anything to do with it. I'm actually not. I'm not super deep on my Earthworm Jim 3D lore, but like I know it wasn't good and it basically killed.
Wait,
the
you're
franchise.
not?
No, I feel bad. I really do love the first.
There was like a cartoon.
Yeah, there was. I like that.
All right,
cartoon.
I'm gonna need a 16-hour YouTube video about this. Hold up, let me go find one.
I'm sure there is. There definitely is.
I'm gonna find one about Earthworm Jim lore.
It's crazy. There's so many like lore type.
It's gonna
videos
have
out
like
there.
2 million views, 15 hours long.
I feel lucky that I just happen to randomly be obsessed with Sonic, and Sonic the fandom is like.
Wait, would it still be an earthworm if it's an Earthworm Jim iceberg, or would it be an iceworm Jim in the iceberg?
Yes, it would be an ice worm.
Iceworm.
that whole iceberg meme just really fucking exploded. I made a parody video where it was like the iceberg.
That was
I feel
great because I learned something from that video.
Right. Well, that's actually kind of an interesting little piece of trivia. That famous iceberg pic is like a composite image. You can't really get a zoomed out pic that far in water. You know
It's
what
an
I mean?
analogy for the fact that you can't do that with the videos, right?
Right. Exactly. It's a deep, multifaceted analogy.
Holy shit, I love that. No, I think that's like a really good practical analogy. It's like, hey, this is just a hard truth.
See, it's shit like that is why I tweeted that you're the Bo Burnham of the Sonic YouTubers.
Oh my God, you sound like Bo Burnham. I knew you sounded like him.
That's pretty funny. This kind of sounds weird, but this is real advice I will give to any YouTuber. Have a second channel and make just dog shit meme videos and post them there. I mean, hell, you can post them on your main channel if you fucking want. I don't care. But for me, I like to have a separate second channel where I can just make anything. I don't care how stupid or bad it is. I don't care if the video is 5 seconds long. It's nice to be able to make anything because it's good practice, just like if you have a funny. So that literally is why I have videos on that channel, because I had a stupid idea in my head and it was just like sitting there bouncing around in my head all day. I was like, I have to make this stupid fucking video just so I can have it not be in my head anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's good to have a shitpost channel. What was it? What do you call it? It's Cybershell?
Cyber is hell. It's the same characters, but with added, or the same.
Can you do a musical number from the special for us at the end of the episode?
A musical number. The only Sonic song that's worth singing is the Sonic Underground theme song.
No, I meant from your other special under your secondary alias, Bo Burnham.
Oh, yes, of course. God, that's crazy. It's crazy how long he's been making stuff too. I've seen Bo Burnham's he's had quite an evolution as an online creator. Yeah. For some reason, I always get him confused with fucking Lemon Demon. They've also had a long.
Oh yeah,
career. I don't know why. They're just he's hard to pronounce last name. That's why I call him Lemon Demon. But they're just funny song guys. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. They're just funny song guys, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Bo Burnham is clearly transitioned into mainstream success at this point.
Oh, it's crazy how popular that fucking Netflix special was. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for him, honestly.
I was in LA and on Sunset Boulevard, which is where all these big advertisements and entertainment stuff is, the comedy stores there. There's a giant poster along the wall that's for Bo Burnham's inside and has the critical acclaim stuff and all that. And it's it's kind of crazy. Netflix has taken over what would traditionally have been theaters. Yeah, Hollywood films and stuff. Hollywood is dead.
It's crazy. Think about why is Hollywood relevant in the digital age? It has no reason to be relevant.
It's not. That's why we saw Hollywood collapse with Me Too and further stuff.
Just
Hollywood deserved Me Too so much. I was so happy seeing all those horrible people get outed. Well, I mean, I wasn't happy because I was reading about all these horrible things, but I was like, God, fuck these people. And it's crazy because it was an open secret to the point where it wasn't even an open secret. It's everybody knew Harvey Weinstein was a complete fucking.
And a lot of them were pretty fucked up. A lot of them
there were jokes about that shit on Family Guy. It wasn't. An open secret barely even covers it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was one of those things where you wondered why. It's the bad guys just get away with it.
The culture ran deep. That's what it's indicative of, I think.
It is. Yeah, that is actually the craziest part is it wasn't just a bunch of creeps are being creeps. This is some sort of modern phenomenon. That was built into the culture of Hollywood, on purpose. It wasn't an accident. You know what I mean?
It's systematic being fucking creepy.
It's I have respect for people who made it out in Hollywood. God, I'm glad I never had to go try and my dream was never to go be in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Systematic predatory behavior. That's gonna get trending on Twitter.
I would love that.
I thought making writing and directing movies sounded fun as a kid. I'm still not opposed to it. Actually, that's the most I'd want to do though.
I did see you wearing the director's beret.
The thing about writing is you can write from anywhere. I mean, I guess it does help be anywhere, but I do agree with you. I being an actor. It's fucked up. I don't even like the minuscule bare amount of acting I have to do, acting in quotation marks for my fucking videos. You know what I mean? Because when you record a script, when you write a script, you have to read it, but you can't just read it in a fucking flat monotone voice, which is what my natural way to read a fucking script would be. I have to sit down and read a sentence, put emotion into your voice. It has to sound like you even if it's the millionth time you've read this sentence, you have to really, I don't know. There's more acting in YouTube videos than people give credit for.
But you're that naturally, man.
It's harder. It's not. It doesn't come as naturally to me as it does to other people.
Well,
I
think he means that you talking right now.
Yeah, you sound totally
okay.
What
it's
you're
fucked
saying.
Up because you're right. You are absolutely right. It is I am literally just talking right now. But it is I don't know. I've never really considered myself a big live content guy. I've always been more of a pre-recorded video type guy, and that's why for a very long time. I mean, up until last year, I'd done 0 podcasts. I had Gush was one of the very first podcasts I ever did in my entire life. I was ooh man, I'm all nervous about this shit. But it's just shooting the shit. I mean, I know you guys are cool guys. We're basically just talking at this point. Whereas when it was some podcast where I didn't know the guys, it's way more.
It's kind of Oh yeah, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
I
always this is the kind of podcast I like where it's just guys shooting the shit. It's not here's this segment, here's this. I mean, I don't have anything against produced podcasts, but
what you're saying is,
Shout out to the Create Unknown because they're like a more produced podcast and I like them.
There are good produced. I wasn't trying to shit on them, but
no, but we're better. We're better.
No.
Yeah, but this is better. Exactly. I'm here so I can say it.
You know, it's kind of like Sonic games though, because when you're just running through the levels, you know, sometimes there's the boost segments, which I think are like questions and topics. But you know, a good podcast is really like a good Sonic level. If you really think about
well
it.
designed, you bring up the boosts. Yeah, because actually, you're honestly not
You get
even
the power
entirely wrong,
ups.
even though I know you're partially memeing right now.
But you got to keep a momentum going is actually what I mean. You know,
You actually do. That's like a real thing. It's easy to just sort of like let you finish a topic and you just sort of like let the silence sort of sit for a second. But like, you know, when
To
you
be
do this,
fair,
like,
that's
thing in
true
your
of a
brain-
lot of things, by the way. Like a lot of
Right.
things, obviously. But
True. But like, you know, you want to keep the momentum going. You don't want to just like come to a stop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You got to train.
Yes.
You got to chain topics from one to the next. Like it's like a thing.
Sometimes
Like,
you
it
gotta
really is a
think
thing.
quick.
Being
you know?
podcasting is a skill. Let me just make that clear. Like, and it's a skill I don't really have developed that well, but I have a great time just talking to you guys, so I don't mind doing it. Hey, how do you get better at podcasting besides podcasting? Like, there's no other way to do it. I mean, I guess just talking to people. I guess that sort of works. But you know,
Yeah, I don't even feel like I feel like I wouldn't be good on an actual like scripted podcast or whatever it is, like on a more professional style of podcast. Like I don't know if I would be good at that, but because it's just talking and it's just like talking to people I like. So, you know what I mean? There's nothing to worry about.
absolutely, I agree. No, but
It's amazing that after I say that, we hit a lull of silence.
that was just for comedic effect. Obviously, that
yeah,
was,
no,
on
that was.
purpose. I had a great follow up. I was like, I'm just gonna not say anything. Let him just sit there.
I was DJing, dude. I was feeling you. I'm picking the right song for the occasion.
You're not streaming. You're not streaming.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah,
This one's just for myself.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
It's the rooftop run. So I'm
that's a
getting
great
hyped
good
up.
one.
Unleashed has a great OST. Just
I
'cause
love
it's like a
Rooftop
world
Run,
party.
dude.
One of the conceits of this episode is supposed to be talking about all this Sonic music, and I could do that all day, but like I would need to do a little more structured for that because I'm so fucking rambly when I come to Sonic shit. I'll just start like bouncing off the walls, talking about like one topic to another. You know how it is. It is what it is. But yeah,
Well-
Unleashed has a great OST. It's a great world trotting adventure type thing.
Yeah. What I like about Unleashed is that like it was it felt like those levels, I don't know. They felt like they were like a step back towards like older Sonic in a weird way.
Unleashed is so weird because it was the first one to like, it was the first boost game. So it was like all this brand new stuff. Like I'm a little burnt out on the whole boost shtick now, but like at the time it was so fresh and unique and like all these, and that game really, honestly, like Unleashed looks great, even by today's standards. It's just a 360
It has a
game.
cool
but
aesthetic.
It looks great. Great graphics. It looks almost better than Forces, which is fucking sad.
Yeah, Forces doesn't look great.
That's
though,
weird.
To be fair,
I know it doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. There are some parts in Forces that look better. It has like better reflections and blah blah blah. There's a few little things that are better. So don't
it has
come at me in the comments.
ray tracing, bro.
Yeah. But the aesthetic and the art design specifically, so the art design is so much better in Unleashed. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is better. It is definitely more.
I
like
completely forgot what we were talking about before the Sonic.
I think
thing
we're
came up.
talking
Like,
about ice
Golden
cream
Mike's
and
Sonic.
eating chocolate chips.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
love
that's
ice
what
cream,
Unleashed-
chocolate chips,
That's
classic.
what Unleashed
yeah.
makes me want
Yeah, that game
chocolate.
has a lot of lovingly rendered food, which is something I actually kind of like in video games, seeing the
Yeah.
food rendered in extremely high detail because Chip likes to eat the food. Character, when I first played the game, I was like, oh, Chip, this guy sucks. He's just an annoying little piece of shit. But honestly, I kind of like Chip. I
One
kinda grew
might
to
say
like
that
him by the
Sonic
end. It's all right.
Unleashed. One might say. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go for it.
One might say that Sonic Unleashed represents peak consumerism.
it sort of does in a weird way because like Chip is always about like going and buying food from these new places. It's super weird. Like the like one of the best things to do in that game is just travel across
Unleashed-
the world buying things.
It was the first foodie Sonic game.
Hell yeah.
Well, to be fair though,
Food eats on a game. I like that.
before that, like you could say it was building. I think Sonic 06 also, like with the NPCs and stuff. I wouldn't know. I don't know if I'd say it's consumerist, but it was more like it seemed more like a how do I say it, like less imaginative in some ways.
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Like the stages and heroes are so weird and abstract. I actually really love how weird and like Sonic-y some of the stages are. Whereas in Unleashed, it was more grounded because it was more like a globe-trotting
real
adventure. So like here's like a version of
was more
Alaska. Here's like a
realized,
version of China or something. Which again, I really liked the stages. I thought they were beautiful, great rendered. But like I totally get what you mean. And if someone had that complaint where they're like, oh, it wasn't Sonic-y enough for me. The stages were too whatever. I like that for one game. I wouldn't want every game to be like that, but I thought it was great in Unleashed, which is funny because in Japan it's called Sonic World Adventure. So when you bring up Sonic Adventure 3, it's like, ooh, what about that one? It's like, it's not a fucking
I have
game.
quick theory. Is Sonic Unleashed, was that meant to set up for the Sonic movie?
The intro to Unleashed is so well animated. I always was craving and dying for a Sonic movie that's just like the intro to Unleashed, but we're never going to get one just like that.
Yeah.
It's so well animated, but I don't know. I always thought about like a Sonic movie. Like I never thought they were going to make one. I mean, I knew it was in development hell for a long time. Where you go on IMDb and see like, oh, they're going to make a Sonic movie. It was like that page existed for years, but like
back when they still had forum posts.
Right. God, there was this fucking ancient image of like Keanu Reeves as Sonic and like, Danny DeVito as Eggman and like a fake movie poster from like 2005. And I remember seeing it like, Sonic movie. What a funny idea. That would never happen. But it happened. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I didn't think it would never happen, but like, they made the Mario Bros movie and that was a disaster. I love that movie, but it's a fucking disaster. Like it's complete, like so weird and not anything like Mario. But there's gonna be a new Mario movie. I don't know if you even knew that, but there's gonna be a new Mario movie by Illumination, by the guys who made Minions.
Oh, so it's gonna be it's gonna look like it does in like the cutscenes.
I think it's gonna just be like a 3D CGI Minion-y-esque, not literally Minions, but like that sort of stylish of movie. You know what I mean? Like I think it's gonna be bad, but we'll see. I just don't have a lot of faith in Nintendo approving a good script for that.
Let me make a prediction right here.
They're weird about their rules. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm also gonna make a prediction here, which is that I think they were kind of able to sort of pull off the Sonic movie with modern technology and writing and whatever, all that.
It would have been so bad if they tried to make it just like 10 years ago.
But for the Mario one, I think there's definitely not going to be enough creativity to actually capture what Mario should, how it should be presented.
I agree, and for the record, I think you could make an amazing. You could make a great Mario movie because like Super Mario RPG is an adorable, charming game. The Paper Mario series. Just look at any of the fucking Mario RPG games, the good ones. I mean, because there's so much you can do. You can make a great Mario story. You can make a great Mario movie. It's not impossible. I'm just saying.
Does Mario talk? Like, how does that work?
See, that's the thing. Mario talking is like a weird thing because
I don't think it should be.
I just don't really like. Charles Martinet does a great performance as the Bing Bing Wahoo, but I don't know about
just do that. That's how he should talk. That's how he should talk.
He does say some words in Mario 64.
It's not like Mario's a mute. He does talk.
That's not canon. That's not canon.
A few words or a sentence. Yeah, when he's asleep. I mean,
it's Bob-omb canon. It's Bob-omb canon, but it's not canon.
Think about it. Would it ever be canon that Mario would sit down and go to sleep?
Oh my god, dude! I'm fucking with you. I said it's Bob-omb canon, but it's not real canon.
Got it. Oh, it's beautiful.
No, of course it's canon, but we choose to ignore that more Italian side of Mario because it prevents us from self-inserting into that little plumber man.
I don't really have any interest in a Mario movie, but I would kill for a Wario movie.
Was that racist?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Wait, what?
Sorry, never mind.
What was racist?
Is what I said racist because I said
no. I think you're okay. I don't think you're.
Guys,
I think
Italians, please don't burn down my house.
They're too low on the social hierarchy. Nobody's going to get mad at you for making fun of Italians.
You're part Italian, right? You can say that, right?
You can say anything you want.
We're all part Italian.
We're all part Italian here.
I mean, I'm part hedgehog. You guys are part Italian.
Aren't we all a little part of Italy? Isn't that really what it's all about?
Yeah, the little boot up your ass. But whatever. Point I was trying to make
is a metaphor. Nice.
Mario movie. It's not going to be good. Come back into this comment section and watch.
We're going to do a Mario update with you for the Mario movie, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is dying to hear what I think about Mario and the Mario news.
Oh, they're gonna be. They will be
now. They will be now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. People. I'm very skeptical. People. I personally. Not to throw shade at anyone who disagrees with me, but I personally did not think Detective Pikachu was a very good movie. I didn't think it was like
it was bad. It was bad.
So bad.
The ending was just atrocious. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what happened in the writing room, but the entire third act was a complete botch job.
Even okay, the first half was better, but like
it was very boring, very generic
off of that kid and like that girl and like.
I agree. The only thing that could have saved that was Danny DeVito as Pikachu, but they couldn't even. Yeah. They just made him fucking Deadpool. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, people said, "Oh, that was a good video game." I didn't really think that was a great video game movie, so I was sort of pleased that Sonic
was well executed, I guess.
It was neat. It was neat seeing some of the Pokemon in 3D. Although a lot of them were horrifying and disgusting. It was still kind of neat seeing them. But like, I don't know. That was literally like the entire draw of the movie. It was just look at her. Look, it's 3D Pokemon. Look at the 3D Pokemon. Look at him. Look at the 3D
They
Pokemon.
were behind the grass in the beginning and stuff like, you know what I mean? Like little elements like that I appreciated.
Right.
But the movie
I
itself's
like
god-awful.
Pokemon. I like all the, yeah, there were some good little Easter eggs. I'm not saying like the entire movie was nonstop dog shit. It wasn't like that, but I just didn't like it. I really did not think it. I came in with open mind. I was like, man, maybe it'll be a good movie. Maybe it'll be good. People
That's what I did too, and it was not. It was just a big. It was a cash grab. That's what I.
Right.
I have to say that like Sonic was also kind of Deadpool, even though he wasn't literally Deadpool.
Okay, you're
like,
absolutely 100% correct in that like the movie Sonic is a straight up different character. Like it's a different characterization. Like the idea of Sonic as like this weirdo loner, like not even, I don't want to say loser, like looking in the movies, watching people watch the movies through the window. Like he just had a very different vibe to me. He's way more, it's funny because like that actually kind of like contextualized and like explained why he made so many little pop culture quips. Although that was very Deadpool, you know, when he was like, oh, talking about Keanu. Like
Sonic isn't cool. Sonic is meant to be cool. That's not cool to be soy. It's not cool to be soy.
That's honestly my complaint. He was not that cool. Like it was cool when he was like being Sonic, but like a lot of the time he was, you know, he was like the stranded alien. It was literally just like an alien.
90s Sonic is fucking cool. Always.
He was Genie from Aladdin at times, you know.
I was able to separate my minds. Like if like this isn't Sonic, this is movie Sonic. It's a separate thing, and as a separate thing, I thought it was pretty good. Like it wasn't like a fucking masterpiece of a movie like Citizen Kane, but like it
was fun the whole way through.
I just had such low expectations. I thought the movie was going to be a disaster. And then that first trailer came out where he looked hideous and I was like, oh, it is going to be a disaster. Exactly like I thought. So the fact that it wasn't, the fact that people actually kind of liked it is a huge win in my book. And I have a little bit more hope for the second movie. I think they're going to be more lean into the Soniciness of it all. You know, they're bringing in Tails and Knuckles. It's going to be more Sonic-y.
I think the American market for these kinds of movies are finally starting to catch on what Japan has known for decades now, which is you really have to play into what your fan base wants. You can't try to appeal to everyone all the time. Oh my God.
I mean, you say
sorry,
that,
I just quoted a line from
movie just came out and I don't know. It like it doesn't do that.
It doesn't do what?
Like I guess it does do a little bit of playing into it, but it does like the same weird thing where
well, I'm not talking about the Mortal Kombat movie. I'm saying the Sonic movie is representative of what happens when you I'm just saying this has been going on in other cultures for a while where they really play into what their fans want, which I think
it is very interesting. I think I hear what you're saying. Like the Sonic movie, Sonic is a Japanese property, but the movie made by Westerners was very Western in its sort of execution. There were a lot of little Easter eggs. You know, they had the little Sonic Easter egg. There was lots of little things on there they threw in for the fans. You know what I mean? Like you could tell the people making it like liked and respected the source material. You know what I mean? Like it had it had a air of respect to it in a weird way. It's kind of hard to explain.
Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. I actually would disagree. I actually haven't seen it, by the way.
Oh yeah. How dare you not watch this children's movie? How dare you not watch the Sonic movie?
But what I was gonna say is, you know what? Never mind. I don't even want to talk about it more if I haven't seen it. So never mind.
I want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it. I want to go back to 90s Sonic. I want 90s Sonic.
I feel incredibly ambivalent about it. Like I have mixed feelings. You know what I mean? Like part of me was like, wow, it's a lot better than I expected. And there's still a million things I could nitpick, but then it's like, I don't even.
Yeah, it's.
I look forward to the sequel.
I will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It'll probably be good. It'll probably be good.
It definitely, like, I appreciated it for a couple reasons in a meta sense, just like as a Sonic fan, like, wow, there's gonna be little kids who this is their first exposure to Sonic. Maybe they'll become Sonic fans after watching this. You know, like I like the idea that Sonic still exists in the public consciousness. You know what I mean? Like for
Sonic will always exist in the public consciousness. He is now exists in his own universe in our universal consciousness. Sonic has his own galaxy.
Yeah.
You're 100%
Sonic
correct.
is everything.
And Sonic is incredibly like well known among gamers. But like I feel like if you are not interested in video games at all, it's probably easy to go a long chunk of your life without seeing or thinking about Sonic. So it's kind of just
you might not know you're in the Sonic universe, but you still are. You're like an NPC in Sonic 06. You don't know you're in the Sonic universe, but you're there.
You're just a bit player in Sonic's world. But it was just nice to see like I don't even say mainstream attention, but just weird. It was just weird seeing like Jim Carrey be like Sonic the Hedgehog. Hearing him say Sonic the Hedgehog out in like interviews, like what the fuck? Why is people like why are famous celebrities talking about Sonic the Hedgehog?
Right, because he's a prophet of sorts.
Yes, exactly. He can see in the future.
That's the natural conclusion.
No, Jim Carrey, I mean. Sonic is just an entity. He's not a prophet. Jim Carrey is a prophet, I meant.
Of course, Jim Carrey.
For Sonic.
He
The Mask. What do you think that movie was really about?
It was
Yeah,
about
just
Sonic
to get my thoughts
speeding
in
up.
really quick. On Jim Carrey's Robotnik, like he wasn't really playing like Robotnik as Robotnik. He was just sort of playing Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey's Robotnik. And you know what? Again, I had the same thing with Movie Sonic, where it's like as long as I was like, okay, this isn't trying to be the same thing as the game. This is a different, separate thing.
Was it like an irony mask? Was it like one of those irony mask memes where it's like crying behind the mask, but it's like Dr. Robotnik?
A little bit. You know, honestly, it's funny. This is so stupid. I was just happy that he was called Robotnik. And just hearing the name Robotnik was enough to make me happy. And hearing that name like 50 times throughout one movie. Because you know, he's been Eggman for a long time.
Wait, but are we just falling for dangling keys of like, oh, that's a reference I get. That's a reference I get. Robotnik,
Yes.
Robotnik. Are we just
This was
falling for
more of
that?
a stylistic choice because it was like, you know, they could have, I mean, they'd mentioned Eggman as like a meme name, but like they could have easily, it was just like, I'm just happy that the name Robotnik exists in like, because like they almost completely
Modern
like
day.
phased it out. They gave him one little pity shout out name reference in Generations, but it's been pretty solidly not referenced in the main games at all. So just like, yes. It's funny because that is how a lot of Americans still think about Eggman. They think of him as Robotnik because that was his Western name for like a decade during the peak of Sonic's popularity. But then it's one of those weird things where in Japan, he's just always been Eggman. So
If
I
you
don't
think
get mad.
about
I
it,
don't even care about that difference in the games anymore.
Become Sonic Adventure 2. He's called Eggman, but he is still Dr. Ivor.
Yes,
Robotnik,
exactly.
right?
SA2 sort of geniusly combined
skirted
them,
the
which is so
line.
weird. They almost never ever mention this in the Japanese version, but yeah, like Gerald Robotnik was his grandfather. Like that's a canon thing. And like in SA1, there's again a brief line where he's like, "I'm Dr. Robotnik," and then Sonic calls him Eggman, and then the rest of the series they just call him Eggman from that, which is a very weird moment if you're a kid. You're like, why would they just change his name like that? But again, it makes perfect sense if you actually know the whole context. It's just also a weird thing because Bowser is weirdly like exactly the same. Like in America, he's Bowser. In Japan, he's just called Koopa. Like I don't know. And for some reason, they never felt like that was such a hard thing to keep track of for Nintendo. Like let's just keep calling him Bowser.
If you think about it though, I think they might change his name to Eggman in the second one because it would be kind of a brave statement to make.
I think what would be brave is make him fat, make Jim Carrey gain 200 pounds,
Body
and play
positivity.
Yes, it's not fair.
Eggman body positivity.
They took away the role of Eggman / Robotnik from a promising young fat actor, and that's not okay.
Right. No, I could see. I could agree with you. Tim Dillon should have been Dr. Robotnik.
Oh my
That would have
god,
been amazing.
yes.
Yeah, he would have killed it for sure.
He'll be in the second one.
I know he will.
I hope there's a lot of like secret background jokes related to Jeffrey Epstein in the Sonic movie.
Of course. Just like in the first one.
Oh, by the
Just
way,
like the first one.
that brings
You
me
go
to
and
the
see
next
them.
topic. What are the connections between Sonic and 9/11? Because I know there is at least a couple.
Oh, there's too many to name. If I started naming them
Is it
off,
really that many?
the CIA
We've already
would come and
established
get me.
the Jim Carrey
The NSA, they're listening. The NSA and CIA is listening to this
I actually
podcast
don't know
right
about
now.
them. Are they real or is this a joke? I actually don't know.
I'm pretty much memeing. There's not really any major 9/11 references, although it's like, you know, if you dig deep enough, there's crazy Sonic conspiracy theories for anything.
Interesting. Well, that's what I want to get into. Let's get into Sonic conspiracies. You got another 2 hours or what?
I actually do have to leave in a little bit, but
Oh, okay. We'll save that for another time. We're going to go deeper next time.
I was going to say, but I'd be happy to come on for a third episode and spend 2 hours talking about
Let's
Sonic
do
conspiracies.
it.
I would love that.
Hey, if I can't be the first,
of them.
if I can't be the first returning
I'll
guest, I
research
can at least
them.
be the first
You know,
guest to return for the third time.
topic for you also. Sonic conspiracies.
Right. That is another thing I feel lucky about. Like, there's so many different Sonic related things. Like, it feels like, you know, I've never truly run out of video topics. So it would just me being not thinking hard enough of a good one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's always further degrees of autism that you can
Exactly.
Well, the
It's such
Sonic
a-
universe
it's such
is
a
always
huge
expanding.
universe.
It's
It's
always
such a huge
expanding.
universe. And I don't even mean the universe of Sonic. I mean just the internet fandom of
Well,
Sonic.
we are
It's
in the
such a-
universe of
yeah.
Sonic.
Right. That counts as the
right.
Sonic universe, right? The fandom is part of the universe.
Everything is the Sonic universe. Duh. Sonic is a basic fundamental sound frequency. We're all in the Sonic universe. That's the irony.
Need I
of it.
remind you, this chat is literally called Sonic Update.
It is funny you say sound frequency because every time I hear someone say like supersonic this or subsonic this, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Sonic Hedgehog? What did you say? What did you say? Sonic? Oh, you're talking
Subsonic
about sound. You're talking about
frequencies.
sound. Yes.
It's all
I really like their
frequencies.
music sonically. What
It's
do you mean
all
sonically?
frequencies,
Maybe sonically.
guys.
That's-
It's all
you're ju-
frequencies.
I've literally
It's all
been that guy
frequencies.
before. But like I hear sonically and I'm like, what? Oh, never mind. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, obviously that's how they got the name Sonic. You know,
I like Crush 40 sonically.
Hey, that's a good bit. I like that.
Sonic is
That's like
everything. Sonic
High
is
quality
everything.
tweet. I agree. Sonic
Everything
is
is perception, and your perceptions are, you hear everything. Everything is heard through. Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of memeing, but like in my life is like I do sort of perceive everything and related to Sonic in a way.
You
I'm always
have a Sonic bubble on your.
Exactly.
Tweeting that out because of your approval.
Okay, we can end it here. We're getting too deep already. People already know.
For sure. I'm happy to come on again. I feel like we barely even talked about Sonic. I mean, we did talk about Sonic a good amount, but we also talked about just. I mean, no,
We're just so
everything.
naturally like we just can't help ourselves.
We don't
from, like,
get tied
diverting.
down. We don't get tied down. We're like
I've never
Sonic.
been-
We got to
yeah.
keep running. We got to keep
I've
running.
never. Well, that's part of the beauty of like we already talked about this topic specifically. It's just the unstructured podcast topic. Like it would be one thing to be like, we're going to talk about this part of Sonic now, and then 15 minutes later we're talking about this part of Sonic. Like, I mean, I'm sure that'd be fun too. But like,
Dude, we're
it's also
like
fun just
we're
to
like a
freewall.
Sonic level that combines generations with colors, with SA2B, with Unleashed, with all the 8-bit games, jumping back and forth between different paths in the level. That's what Gush is.
Sonic Epic Generations Mega Adventure.
Sonic
Actually,
Gush.
we're more like Sonic Spinball. You never really know where you're going to go, and you don't really have any control over it either.
And we're kind of weird and mysterious, and nobody wants to buy us, and we're in the discount shelf for some reason.
Sonic Spinball, the podcast. Just change the name from Gush to the Sonic Spinball podcast.
Sonic
and like every
Spinball
guest is
podcast.
just like, what the hell? Why is it called that? Like,
That's
it
kind of a
doesn't
cool
matter.
name if you think
We're
about
not talking
it.
about Sonic Spinball this episode. That was one episode.
But no,
Why did we let him change our
like the
minds on
Eggman
the
thing.
title? Yeah,
no, you actually change our mind to make us talk about it every episode. That's the thing.
that would be great. Just like every time
We get
just,
into
like,
the
new
lore of it.
episode recording. I'm just like bust in, or like break into the call. Like, wait, did you guys talk about Sonic yet?
We get into the lore of it. Like, is this a Sonic's soul like trapped inside of the pinball and like forever bouncing back and forth to try to break out the animals of Eggman's control that are powering this, like deadly torture machine? And we really get into the lore of it, like with each passing episode.
Hell yeah. Here's a shout out to any of, I'm guaranteed this guy exists. Here's a shout out to the one Gush fan who just like hates Sonic. He hates Sonic the Hedgehog so
Yeah.
much. And he's like, God damn it. I just shut the fuck up. Stop talking about Sonic. Talk about anything else.
Sonic. Well,
No, that guy's
We need
fucked.
to give him a shout out at the end of a long Sonic episode.
Exactly. He's
well,
like,
I know he's
not
sick
even
of
hear
it now. He's sick of it now.
He's just such a big Gush fan that he has to listen to every episode entirely, but he hates Sonic. He's just like, God damn it. I made a tweet about this recently. Just thought it was funny that he has Sonic crossing over and all these
Wait,
different
why does it
games.
have to be a guy? Can it be a girl? Can you be a
No,
little
girls
bit
aren't
braver?
allowed to like Sonic.
Girls love Sonic.
They have to like Amy. They're only allowed to like Amy.
It is
They
weird.
will be in love with
No,
Sonic.
seriously.
They want to change Sonic for
No,
the better.
You are right.
Sonic
there's
is
a big-
developing a female fandom.
It has a female fandom like within the thing. Like,
Of
but,
course.
I mean, in my mind,
The raw
I mean,
XD girls. The raw
It's
XD
funny.
girls.
I just, in my mind, this is totally sexist and not okay to say in 2021, but like in my mind, everyone on the internet's a dude. I grew up on the internet in 2000, like the early 2000s, where you just assumed everyone was a guy, and like 99% of the
No,
time
me
you were
too.
like
Me
right.
too.
So it was just
Me
like,
too.
but I know you're not supposed to still think that way, especially now because it's not even true anymore. But in my mind, it's just that's still how I think
Can
about
I-
the internet.
The space that we inhabit on the internet is certainly more dominated by
Right.
guys.
Right.
There's no denying
True.
it.
Very true.
But
Exactly.
girls,
And that's
You
the
could
thing,
be
like
into
certain
Sonic,
fandoms, this is what made me
okay.
think about it exactly. It's like there's certain fandoms are very like weighted towards one gender or the other. I want to be like, I'm going to pick up bitches. I'm going to become a The Sims YouTuber. Become huge in The Sims community just because I know there's a lot of female fans. But no, I'm sure that there are like, there are a lot of girl Sonic fans. I think I only know that because there's a lot of like talented artists I know, and a lot of them are girls. I think maybe, it's just I feel like the Sonic has a sort of universal appeal. I can totally see why it would appeal to both genders. There are some game series out there I can see like modern warfare-y type games have a way more male audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, next time we'll get deeper into Sonic lore. Thanks for listening, guys.
with the
Maybe
conspiracies.
we'll see if I decide to bless you with my knowledge. Maybe I'll just keep it secret.
Please,
maybe-
Master.
Maybe all my Sonic.
Fine. We'll
lore
get
is gonna be
we'll get deeper into something else Sonic related. Then we'll figure it out.
We will.
We'll
we
just
will.
make Sonic.
I will be
music
happy
related.
to talk
Deep
about
is Earthworm Jim stuff. man.
any Sonic. Yeah, that'd
Earthworm,
be great.
Iceworm Jim.
I'm gonna be like studying Sonic and all this lore shit, and then you bring me on the next episode. Like, this is the Earthworm Jim episode. No,
Yeah.
no
We're
Sonic.
We're
just
gonna
Earthworm
go to the
Jim.
episode, and you're gonna be like, "All right, Cybershell, get us an Earthworm Jim playlist now."
Dude, that game also has pretty great music. That's by Tommy Tallarico. He's a talented composer.
Oh my God, I know him because he worked with Mega 64. That's
Yes,
funny.
he did. He did. Yeah, he did some great videos with them.
I
God, the
love
Mega 64 guys
64.
are so funny. They were great.
We could do a podcast on that. All right, Sam's gonna love that one.
I have met them so many times because they
Same.
come to PAX every year, and I would just go to PAX every year, and I was just every single year I would meet them. Like, hey, I mean, they didn't know who I was just a fan, but I was like, hey, it's you guys.
Same.
I'd buy their con exclusive DVD. Those guys are great, and I can't believe, or I mean, I can believe that they're still doing it, but like they're still doing Mega 64.
They're like a band. They're like
Yeah.
a fucking band, dude.
Crazy. I can't believe how long they've been going. Like, God damn, I'm getting like internet flashbacks now. I remember buying the version 1 DVD off of like the Something Awful
Wow,
mark.
man, I didn't know you're this deep into them, dude.
Yeah, no, I've been a fan. I sent in a message like they.
Sorry, my voice has like
on,
been been
I
stretched.
read one of your messages in a video.
no, on like the 20th podcast when the podcast was like new. I was like, wow, cool, the Mega 64 podcast. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been keeping up with it. I'll check in every now and then, but they're on like episode 600 now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I check in every now and then as well, and they have a pretty decent podcast. They're like well produced. They keep it interesting. They have a good.
It must be
They're
hard,
just a good.
right?
They're a good group of friends. Like they flow well
Yes,
back and forth.
they have a
with
great
each
just
other.
group dynamic.
They
You
have
can
a
tell
good
they're like
group
real life friends. They
chemistry.
have great, yeah, exactly. That's it, group chemistry. But it must be hard, right? 600 episodes. Don't you run out of shit to talk about? I mean, there's always current events, but like, damn, 600 episodes.
No, they just kind of like, what have you been up to? Like, I've been playing this game. I like it. It's cool. Like this new movie. They kind of keep up with like pop culture a little bit, you know?
Right. You guys better
like
invite
how
me
you-
back for Gush episode 600.
Yeah, we will.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yo, come to
I mean, I
VidCon.
think
Let's do a
this is
Gush in
episode
person.
20, isn't it?
Maybe I will go to VidCon. I was like thinking about that. Like I've never been. It'd be
Is this
cool just to
20?
be able to meet up with creators.
It's 19, Sam. It's 19. No, it
you
is
sure?
20.
Yeah,
You're right,
you're
it's
our
20.
20th episode.
It's
That's kind of
20.
like a
Oh my
little
God, you're
milestone
20.
or something.
What a milestone. Well, I didn't know because this episode started with you guys like it's episode 17 or 19 or 20 or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
Numbers are hard.
Numbers are. It doesn't matter. Like who cares? Like what doesn't matter? It's just a new
It doesn't
episode.
matter. It doesn't matter. It's a new episode. Yeah.
Although I guess
It's
it
a
doesn't
new
matter if
act.
you want to celebrate it as like a milestone.
It's a
whatever.
new act.
Exactly. New
And
act.
we'll see you
Welcome
on
to
the
Gush
next
Stone
act.
20. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay,
a lot
Cybershell
of
Act
acts.
3 coming later on.
It will. It'll be on, even if you guys don't want it, especially if you don't want it.